Well, happy Monday. I know you're happy that we got through the weekend. You're right, and you're saying this is Monday, and now we're ready to go. Anyway, today, all my topics are my favorite topics. So this is a good one, but it's basically how to find a puppy a forever home. And as you see, as I go through the verbiage, it's not as easy as you think. So anyway, starting right out here, finding a forever home for a puppy can be both heartwarming and a challenging journey. Puppies are often full of energy, curiosity, and playfulness, making them adorable to potential adopters. However, there's always a however, finding the right home, the one that suits the puppy's personality, needs, and future, is more complex than it may appear. Now, as you're looking at our little cutie, I mean, they're all cute. They're all wonderful. And I pray for them all. But bottom line, it's so important to really work to make sure that they are right for you and you are right for them. I do admit a lot of times people adopt a puppy, and if they're like, well, my 6-year-old is going to take care of the puppy. And yes, the 6-year-old says, yeah, I am going to do everything. And then they don't do anything. They love the puppy. They play with the puppy. But when it comes to everything else, you're on your own. So anyway.
Good morning.
So anyway, the journey to a forever home, assessing the puppy's personality, that's real important. By the way, let's do a little, how would you say, commercial break. Not yesterday, but on Saturday, Jamie spoke to you all. And Jamie's my boss. She's also my wonderful 10-year-old Shih Tzu. And she has one of the 3 other employees, a person by the name of Big O. So now let's take a word from Big O.
Good morning. This is Big Orange, and I want to thank you for being here with Jim. Jamie, my boss, she said it was time for me to introduce myself. So this is Big O, and I work for All Power Group and Phoenix Animal. So anyway, Jim always has different topics for you, and he does his best in coming up with hopefully good ideas, things that you might get, you learn something, it's humorous, and that's the goal. So anyway, thank you for listening. I appreciate all that you do for our channel. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, that was Big O, and you'll see him regularly. He's a good guy. He really is. And he's a orangutan. And what else would you think? Anyway, each puppy has a unique temperament, just like people. Some are bold and adventurous, while others are shy and need a calm environment. So finding the right home is not easy. Matching these personality with a household that can nurture it takes time and thoughtful consideration. And, we want to say, just think if you were bringing a human person into your home. I'm not saying that would be harder or easier than a puppy, but you remember, a puppy relies totally on you. Let's say your wife, if you have a wife, and hopefully if the children are willing to participate to take care of them. I think when I was a youngster, we had a dog by the name of Ginger, and she, in essence, I took care of her a little bit, but all I did at my younger age was, I didn't really take care of her. I just kind of played with her. Anyway, hey, I want to say hey out to Peggy T3. Also, Mike Stew, thank you for being here. Not exactly sure. One says, what basketball player was that? Hopefully they're on the right comment section. The other one is, no, I won't say what it is. But anyway, as I progressed in Saturday, I was able to do better in my setup with an eCam to bring in comments and see comments and respond to comments. But sometimes I guess I don't understand them. But anyway, ensuring commitment. Puppies require a significant investment of time, energy, and finances. This includes training, socialization, veterinary care, and a lifelong commitment. Potential adopters may not fully realize the extent of this responsibility, leading to mismatches. And, and I see it on Nextdoor, people will say, I have an 8-year-old cat and I got to find another home. Or I have a golden retriever that's 8 years old and I've got to find another home for them. I always feel so bad when I see that because, bottom line, it's not easy. And the animal might look cute, or they might not look cute. And, I always feel, it's a good idea to just try to make sure you're in for the long haul. By the way, I want to say to Mike again, he's asking me, is pet insurance expensive? It's not really crazy expensive as a little aside with the question, but the point is, you have to make sure you know what it's paying. And I would probably say if you have a puppy that's maybe 1 year old now, that pet insurance isn't necessarily, if you can't afford it, something you want to do. But, if you have a big issue money-wise with something that's happened to your pet, sickness or injury, yeah, you would be pretty happy if you had some pet insurance. Anyway, thank you, Mike, for asking that question. Okay, the home environment. And this is very, very accurate, too. Not every home is suited to every puppy. Active breeds thrive in households with outdoor space or active owners, while smaller or more laid-back breeds may do well in apartments. Finding a home that aligns with the puppy's exercise and mental stimulation needs is crucial. We've had Jamie for 10 years, and I've had dogs pretty much my whole life, even when I was a child. But I didn't take care of them, as I said earlier. But my mother, God bless her, she was the most wonderful lady in the world. And she was an animal lover. And if anybody says, do you really love animals like this? I say, yes, partly because I do, and partly because my mother was an animal lover. My father was an animal lover. So there we go. Anyway, oh boy, if that isn't a beautiful family. And, you know, it's like with anything. If somebody says, I'm going to adopt 2 dogs, unless if you go to a shelter, and I always feel bad when I see this on YouTube. I went in to get a dog, and there's one that was great, but he or she had a buddy or a sister or a brother. I couldn't afford both dogs. I would almost say try to move on, because it's like the dog is going to say, what did they do wrong? Where's my buddy? Where's the person that I've gotten so attached to? So if you can, take them both. If you can't, don't move on. And that's easier said than done. I get it. When you see an animal that you say, wow, this is great. I got another comment that really is very inappropriate. You know, the funny part here is his name is Rai San. Boy, I'll tell you, some interesting things out there. And you're saying, did you really want chat? Because the chats I'm getting kind of don't even make sense. So anyway, okay, many adopters choose a puppy based on looks or fleeting emotional connection without considering compatibility. Rescue organizations and breeders often need to gently guide adopters to a puppy that fits the lifestyle rather than the initial love at first sight. You know, in our life throughout, and I'm 75, so I've had the pleasure of loving a lot of people. And loving a lot of people. But would I sit here and go, everybody that I love would be perfect for me to be with? No. So it's like with anything, you need to extend it out, that if any human being is not necessarily right for being with me or right for them, that would be the same with an animal. So you can't try to cheat it, or just overlook it, because you want to be happy and they want to be happy. The good news is their requirements are a little bit less. I mean, you're not buying clothes for them, kinda. I mean, you don't have to, but of course we have clothes for Jamie. You don't have to send him to school. You don't have to give him lunch money. There's just a lot of things. Anyway, geez, I'll tell you, some of these, I've opened up Pandora's box, because I don't know why. And I even though I'm 75, I function differently. I don't send in, kind of weird comments, even those that you can't even answer because it's X-rated. Anyway. Okay. The next thing is checking the adopter's preparations. Adoption processes often involve interviews, home checks, and trial periods. These ensure the puppy's safety, but can make the process longer and more challenging for everyone involved. So, here are the hard truths of a mismatched home. Puppies adopted without thorough vetting might face abandonment or rehoming if the family is unprepared. So, again, please don't. Behavioral issues can arise from neglect, poor training, or an unsuitable home environment, leading to heartbreak for both the adopter and the puppy. If it happens and you find that it's not working right, well, that's more of an objective decision where you can make the decision, but the puppy is not part of the decision. So if you think, well, I'm going to be traveling a lot, I don't have time to take care of the dog, you have done something what I consider very bad, in that you took on a responsibility that you can't actually fulfill. All right, finding the best solution. Patience and advocacy, whether it's through a shelter, rescue organization, or reputable breeder, giving the puppy time to find the right family ensures they'll end up in a loving, stable environment. By the way, before Jamie, we had Shiny. Shiny, I adopted her. She was 2 to 3 years old. And when she was approximately 7 years old, and this is sad, my neighbor, not here, but over in Davie, Florida, hit her with his car. And he shouldn't have been driving like he did. I take full responsibility, though. I would take her out, and we were in a neighborhood that was relatively not many homes, and certainly not a lot of cars. But this was just one of those terrible days. And I pray for her every night, and I feel bad. They would say, were you driving the car? No, but I would take her and sit in a chair and let her walk, and that's how it happened. And the point is, it took us a while, and this is what you've got to understand. My mother would say, if you lose a puppy or a dog of any age, and you are so sad, and she would say, it's a tribute to the animal you just lost to bring home another animal. It isn't where you're saying, well, I don't care, But honestly, even though I didn't disagree with what my mother was saying, you're trying to fill the void. But there is a grieving period. And when we just, went to a breeder, and we chose Jamester, as I call her, Bubba J, Jamie Reaney, I call her Monkey Girl. She got a lot of different names besides CEO. It took us about 3 months to acclimate and get over Shiny. And I don't want to say over. I'm never over a dog, but to the point of where you feel it's been long enough so that you can now emotionally get another animal. Now, one little aside, which was kind of sad, the gentleman that actually hit her, he wasn't, and it's not related to this, but he wasn't really the nicest guy in the world. And he said, I'll pay for your new puppy. Well, a couple, 3 days go by after it happened, and he was like, well, I think I told him it was going to be $1,200, which it was. No exaggeration. And that was 10 years ago. He was like, well, I'm not paying that much money. So he ended up giving me a check for $300. So you can see, and I usually don't kind of get upset with people, and he wouldn't know that I was upset, but I'm saying, how could you do that? I mean, paying for the dog that you killed is at least what you could do. But his wife would take care of a lot of feral cats that I ended up taking care of over when they moved. When she wasn't home, he would throw rocks at the cats. So you know that this was not a person on the top of the great list. Anyway, you have to have education for adopters. Providing potential adopters with resources on puppy care, training, and what to expect helps set realistic expectations. And in some cases, some organizations allow families to foster a puppy before finalizing the adoption, ensuring it's a good match. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but when I see it on YouTube where somebody says I'm a foster home and I bring in fosters and I help them and I find a good home for them, God bless you. But I'll be the first one to admit, any animal I brought home, and they're there for a while and you love them, I'd want to adopt them all. So I wouldn't even be good at being a foster home, really. Because, you get to love the animal. The animal gets to love you. So you're moving them, in a way that I don't really necessarily agree with. But so in other words, if I was a foster home, I'd have about 28 dogs and counting. But the reward, there's so many rewards, when a puppy finds a perfect forever home. And that's the whole point of this presentation. It's transformative. The joy of seeing a once lost puppy thrive in a loving family is worth all the effort. I'm in a building 30 or so feet from the main home, and we got a fenced-in backyard, and this building is within the fenced-in backyard. When Jamie goes out, she will come to this door that I'm, the building I'm in, and I'll hit a little lock. And we have a bed in here. So in other words, and we call this the White House because my name is Whitehead. So we don't call it the Whitehead House. We call it the White House. Anyway, these homes become not just a place for the puppy to live, but a sanctuary where they are cherished and cared for their entire lives. So, anyway, hey, Mr. Ryu-san, are you okay? There's... I can't even tell you. I thought this the comment process was going to be kind of adding to the channel, because you'd say, well, I'm not doing it. But this person is asking these questions I couldn't even answer, and I wouldn't answer on the air. I'd probably be kicked off in 5 seconds. But he's saying, answer me, you... I won't even say what it is. And then he has all these mad faces. God bless him. Gee, Ryu, I don't know why you came onto my animal channel. But anyway, I hope you have a good day. So, anyway, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. But this was, again, supposed to be where, I'd be getting comments from people say, oh, yeah, I love animals. I get Susie and Butch and what have you. I never thought I would get these comments. And, to be honest with you, you got to be careful on YouTube because, it's kind of like a community that I feel people need to do their best to be good and do their best to be the... now he said, sorry, I'm going through a loss. My bad. If you're going through a loss, maybe you don't want to be in YouTube right now. I mean, let's put it this way. Sometimes it's hard to come in front, and let's put it this way, it wouldn't make me feel any better. But I want to thank you, and comment if you feel, and maybe have a slight or neat story as to an adoption, and I'll put them on the air. But I want to thank you, and take care, Mr. Ryu. I hope you have a better day than you're having one. But